All right, everybody, welcome to the training session. If everyone would go.
Hi, everybody.
You would just say your name, social security number, and 12 digits of your bank account. We'll go ahead and get started.
Mike Schoonover must be in the house.
Debbie Blevins.
Stop. Let it go. Oh, kids and dogs. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. I miss your faces. Let's see here. Hi, Henry.
Hi.
I have company, and one of us is picking our nose. It's awesome here.
I love it. Everyone gets so like wound up about being professional on Zoom. I'm like, life happens. You're probably gonna see my dog 14 times.
Oh my gosh, I will be trying. Now the dog's in my lap. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna go somewhere else, and I'm gonna mute myself, and I'll probably take my picture off just in case.
Gigi needs to go to her office.
Love you all.
Oh goodness. How's Miss Debbie?
I'm just gonna mute.
I'm doing fine.
Good.
I had to come to the office though, because I've got 5 grandkids at the house.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of grandkids.
Yeah. And that's just some of them.
Oh goodness.
5 trumps 2.
Yeah. Hi,
Yeah.
Ashley. Hi, Bud. Bob the broker's on.
And I am here to join this Zoom meeting to see what I might learn today with you people.
Where have you been?
Did you not know that Bob's from Germany?
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Who's Bree Kinthewall? Breaking the wall? Is that Mike Schoonover? Well, we'll get started here in a couple minutes. Let me take roll real quick. Make sure all you lovely people are accounted for. There's Mr. Bud. Hi, Bud. Hi, Ethan. How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you?
In there like a hair in a biscuit.
Good.
Ethan, good work on Red Day and working with Amy on getting that taken off this year. It was I thought it was really good, and just a lot of positive feedback. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from those that participated and those who were on the receiving end, and so thanks for your hard work on that.
Thank you, sir. Definitely a group effort. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Paxtonets are in the house. What's up, ladies?
Hey, hey, what's going on? Can I ask Bob a question, or you leadership a question before we get started that's not on DocuSign?
Yep, absolutely. I'm taking roll, so go ahead.
Okay. When we are all this is mainly for the newer agents who've done their 30-hour online course.
Mm-hmm.
Any normal agent just clicks yes, they've done their CE. But the 30 hours, is there a spot where they're supposed to upload their 30-hour certificate?
There is not. I
Okay.
would just go ahead and click on yes, you've completed. And if they haven't completed it because they still have like 2 years to go, it's not a big deal. You can just say no.
Okay. They have completed it. I have just several that fall in the category. They have completed it. Morgan emailed hers in, but hasn't gotten anything back, but still clicked yes. So we weren't sure if we were supposed to also submit something because it's just a little unclear.
Yeah, you're all good. In the state of Indiana, they don't require you to turn your certificates in. So as agents, we're responsible for keeping our certificates for 5 years. And what happens is after June 30th, when everyone has renewed their license, they do just a random audit and they'll send out an email to people and say, we would like your proof of CE completion between this time and this time. And then you would have to send it into the state.
Okay, that is perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's get started.
Change this.
We're going to get started with some deep breathing. Is everybody ready? All right, we're going to go in for 10 and we're going to blow out for 10. Ready? Breathe in.
Bud, you crack me up.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and blow out. Maybe we should have like breathed in for 5. I don't know. I haven't been to yoga in a while. All right, my friends. I love seeing everybody's faces. We miss you so much. We are going to start DocuSign class with, oh goodness, hold on a second. Okay, we're gonna start DocuSign class by logging into Command. So really the best way to follow through is to watch the training
Sean,
and
you still
then
have
practice on your own. That way we're not going to have a 2-hour class, we'll only have a 1-hour class. So with raise your hand, can you let me know if you were able to download the handout for today? It looks like this. Attached to our weekly announcements and on our Facebook page.
John,
Yes, Craig.
you're having
What?
you're having an echo.
I am having an echo. How do I stop that? Hold on, let me mute myself and then go back in.
Everybody, other than Sean, need to talk, just push the bar down. Now, Sean, you can unmute.
All right, can you hear me? Does it sound better? All right, perfect. Love it. Okay, so everyone should have received this handout. And I don't want you to worry if we're going too fast today because this handout has step-by-step instructions on how to hook up DocuSign and how to do all of the steps. So let me go through all of the steps. And then once we're all done due to the audio issues, once we're done, then we'll open it up for questions. Sound everybody good? Please go get the dog. So sorry. Okay, so we are going to start by learning how to connect your DocuSign to Command. So in the instructions, it says you have to start this from Command Excuse me. Taylor, stop. Go sit down on it. Please stop. You have to create this in Command for it to work and for it to link your documents. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to log into your Command and you're going to go to your settings up here next to your name and click on settings. So next, you're going to make sure that you're in your first section here is your application settings. And you should see under digital signature and transactions where .loop is, you should be able to see one that says DocuSign. If you do not see DocuSign in there already, then you can click up here at the top where the marketplace is, type in DocuSign, and then download it into your settings. Okay? So once you have DocuSign under digital signature, you're going to come over here on the right-hand side and you're going to connect the account. When you connect account, a pop-up box is going to open and it's going to ask you for your preferred first name, last name, and your email. Now, I've already added you all into DocuSign, and I've used the email address that's on our agent roster. So that's the email address that we use to communicate with you. Once you put that information in, you're going to click here where it says send registration email. You're going to get an email and it's going to look like this right here. Can everyone see my screen where it has the big Keller Williams? Okay, you'll receive something that says you've been invited to join DocuSign Rooms. And then right here, you're going to click on accept invite. Once you click on accept invite, it's going to ask you to create your password. And it's going to ask you to set up your password questions. Once you do that and you click on activate, you're going to accept agreement. And then you'll be able to authorize your account in Command. So back in the settings page next to DocuSign, you'll see a button that's called authorize. And you'll just put in your password and you'll log in, accept the terms that this is a Keller Williams Realty DocuSign account. And then your account will say that it's connected, just like mine does over here in settings.
Sean,
Yes, ma'am.
this is Anita. Where is the attachment that you said you sent out?
It's on the weekly announcement email, and it's also attached to the Facebook page, the Facebook group. I posted it several hours ago, probably around noon.
Okay, I'll get it then. And then also, will this be taped so that I can watch it later?
Yep, we're recording this one, and we'll probably record the other two as well and see which copy is best.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I like the one with the dog barking in the background.
I think it adds a little pizzazz. It shows you all that I can multitask. So now that we have DocuSign set up, it will say connected, and you'll be able to add your documents straight from Command. Okay?
Sean,
Yes.
this is Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
Under DocuSign, it says not connected.
Correct.
And when I hit connect account and I hit send registration email, it says the user with this email is already registered. So what do I do?
You used your,
Mine too.
did you use your Debbie Blevins Homes? Is that the one? At
Homes
Gmail?
by Debbie Blevins.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, try to use your @KW. I thought we might have this issue. If you have already created an account through DocuSign on your own and you didn't do it through command, it's not going to allow you to create a separate account.
No, I don't have a DocuSign at all.
Okay. Well, let's try to problem shoot that question afterwards. Can you send me an email with your username and password to command? And then I'll take a look at it for you, okay?
Thanks.
You're welcome.
And it could be if you ever signed a document through DocuSign, you might have set up an account at that point, and that may be your DocuSign.
Without knowing it. Yep, absolutely. So we're going to do a quick refresher. I'm going to go in and I'm going to create a contact and an opportunity really quick so that you guys can see how the process flows. I know a lot of you have been kind of using .loop and command separately, and I want you to be able to use them together, okay? So first we're going to click on contacts. And I just met a buyer this weekend, and his name is Donald Duck, okay? And his email address is donald@disney.com. His phone number is 812-944-4444. Okay? I'm the owner of this contact, and I'm going to mark this person as add to my sales pipeline because I've met them and I know that we're going to write a contract and create an opportunity for them. Okay? And if I have my tags set up, I could mark them in here as a buyer. Okay? So once I hit create, it's going to automatically send me into opportunities because I marked that person as I wanted to add that person to my sales pipeline. So now I'm going to create my opportunity. My opportunity type is a buyer. I'm the owner of this opportunity. And my client's name is Donald Duck. There he is. And we are going to purchase 4 Magic Kingdom Drive in New Albany, Indiana, 47150. So your opportunity name should be the same as your, what we would call our loop name in .loop. In DocuSign, our loop is going to be called a room. So on your piece of paper, I want you to write down loop equals room. They're the same thing, they're just called something different, okay?
Quick question, Sean. In .loop, we were asked to also put the MLS number after that previously.
Yeah.
Are we still doing that?
Nope, you just need the address name. Okay, so now I can add the estimated close date and the time frame and the commission rate from the MLS and all of that under, excuse me, under opportunity phase. I want to go in here and say we're under negotiations because I'm getting ready to write a contract for this buyer. And I'm going to click on create. So now I'm going to go under my active opportunities under buyers, And there is Mr. Donald Duck at 1234 Magic Kingdom Drive. And I am going to click on that opportunity. Under property, I'm also going to go in here and select United States of America, put in the address, which is not going to work. And you should be able to select it from the drop down, just like if you were typing in any other address. And then we're going to do New Albany, Indiana. Now this is supposed to, the details page in Command is supposed to move over when we start the transaction in DocuSign. Oops. And then I'm going to hit save. So I can go in and I can add more information under my buyer's profile. But for the sake of this training, we're just going to go straight into documents. And since we are in a buyer category, we have under contract and we have closed. So I want to click on under contract, and on the right hand side over here where it says start a transaction, I'm going to choose DocuSign instead of .loop. Now it should ask me to log in for security purposes. But you can easily save that into your computer settings. So I'm going to log into DocuSign. And if I'm going too fast, don't worry, because it's all step by step in the handout. And who can tell me the first thing you do when you create a loop? What's the first thing you do, Jay? I just unmuted you, Jay.
Fill in all your details first.
Fill in all of your details under View Details. Yes, sir. So the first thing we're going to do in DocuSign is do the exact same thing. And Jay, why do we fill in all of our details?
So that it self-populates.
So that it self-populates. Because who wants to type in the address 47 times? I don't. Okay, so under details, we're going to click on edit up here in the top right corner. And then we're going to type in as much information as we know about the property. Okay, it's not doing it now, but it will very soon start pulling the information over from Command. So I'm just going to copy and paste this in here really quick. So now when I go into my documents, I will not have to type in the address. The next thing I want to do is I want to make sure over here on the right hand side, you'll see seller 1 and seller 2. I want to make sure that I type in their legal name. So Donald's going to buy Mickey Mouse's house. And seller number 2 is Minnie. And I'll put that the listing agent is Mr. Craig Eberly. I don't have to put all his info in for right now. And then my buyer, I want to make sure that I put my buyer's information in here. And I'm also going to put in their email and any other information I want. And again, this is going to autofill into our forms.
Sean, what if you don't have the, like in the MLS, if the agent for some reason just put Smith?
I usually go into the GIS or the Elevate system for my buyer, and I pull up the parcel ID information, that property report card. And it always has it on there. Oh. Am I echoing again?
Hey, Sean.
Yes, Bob.
So that's not a required field. So if you're doing an offer and you don't know the seller's name, you can leave that blank, correct?
You can, but it was put in the last name. So I always put, whether it's a buyer or a seller, I always put the parcel ID number from Elevate into my loop or my room now. So I always have that info. Does that answer your question, Craig? But like Bob said, it's really not required, but it does say on the purchase agreement that the buyer's offering to blah, 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 and then it will fill in all of those fields. So
Okay.
if you don't know it, it's not a big deal. Oh,
Gotcha.
let me hit save.
And if you do put a parcel number, sometimes that's a place where it could get you in trouble if there's multiple parcel numbers. So you just always want to check that.
Right. I usually don't put the parcel number in there. I will copy and paste the legal description from the MLS. I'm just saying that I pulled down that document from Elevate so I can see who the owner is.
Question for you.
Yes. Hey, Brian Hazley.
How are you doing?
I'm good, honey. What's your question?
What if you have multiple legal descriptions for one deal? I mean, is that going to be a problem?
Nope, you just add them all together in the same field.
Comma, and I'll keep on going. Okay.
Yep. Or
I'll
put and. Yep.
I'll remute. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so I have my information in the view details screen, and I'm going to go down to the bottom right corner and click save. I almost forgot. And then, excuse me, I can go straight into documents here. So the leadership team has put together all of our packets for us, and I'm going to show you two different ways that you can obtain forms. The easiest way to get a form is to come to the add button, and then you're going to add from DocuSign forms. Okay? So these are the two ways. You can choose forms from the library, where you can literally go into the Indiana Association or the Kentucky Association, and you can select the documents that you want. Or, big or, you click on DocuSign Forms Group, which is what I'm going to be teaching everyone to do, because all of the required forms are in your groups. And then click down here, and you will see that we have a Kentucky packet for buyers, Kentucky packet for listings, and then the Indiana packets are already set up for you. And they are all form fillable, which means that all of the little text boxes are already created for you, so you don't have to drag and drop. You just go in there and you start typing. Even your signatures are going to auto-populate. Now, I'm saying this because I had some complaints, because the Syra version doesn't technically do that, and some people didn't like DocuSign back in the day because you had to drag and drop all of the signatures. And I'm telling you right now that that is not the case. We have put in all of the signature fields and all of the initial fields as possible. So I'm going to choose Bob, I think you're making me echo. Do you have a
I
question?
just, yes, I do. I just turned it off mute for me. You had a question there in the chat that they wanted to know. Yeah, back in details, you can add your lender, the title company, whoever else you want to add as part of that room. There was a question about that.
Much information as you want. Thank you. So what did I say this was? It was a buyer. So we're going to do the Indiana residential buyer packet. And it's going to pull up all of the forms that are in that packet. So you can just click on select all and then click on add. So this is just like adding forms into your loop from one of the templates, right? So they all go in here.
So if you didn't want to upload them all and you just want to select the ones you wanted, you could also do that.
Yep. So let's pretend I wanted some really obscure form. Maybe I wanted like a personal property addendum or something. Does that make sense? I can go to add from DocuSign forms. And instead of choosing the group that's already set up for you, you can go to the library and then you can choose the Indiana Association of Realtors. And then up here, you can type in whatever form it is that you're needing. So here's the personal property agreement, because I know that they want the lawnmower or whatever it is. And then I can add that into that group. Okay, so from here, I'm just going to choose one form for time's sake and show you how to go in and edit the form. And then I will show you how to go in to make sure that the signatures are placed and how to send the signatures out for, for signatures. So we're going to do the purchase agreement. Perfect. So see, I could have put a lot more information. I could have put the listing broker company and all of that fun stuff up here. And then I would fill it out just like I would any other contract in .loop. So this looks very similar, does it not? You can have the MLS open in one tab and have DocuSign open in another tab, and copy and paste the legal description. You can copy and paste the appliances in here, which are all best practices. You can put in the price, earnest money.
How does overflow work, John? Do you know how that works? Like if the legal description is longer than the...
I believe it shrinks the text down to like, so if it's a size 10, it will shrink it to a size 8.
Okay, perfect.
Sense?
Yeah.
Try that real quick. Last time I tried it, it truncated it. So we may have to set up something different.
You just can't type anymore. So you would have to maybe say, see further conditions, and then add it in there. Because you don't want to like drop a text box in the middle of the purchase agreement, because then you can't see other stuff. How are we doing with questions, Bob? Are we good?
We just had the question. I said, we'll answer everybody's questions, by the way, at the end. It would be the easiest way to do this. But the question at hand is, can we create our own templates now that like we could do in .loop?
You can, and that would be a separate class. That's like a whole other world, okay? If you are wanting to create your own templates, please email me and we'll get together ahead of time and we'll go through how to set it up. So Let's scroll down to the signatures and make sure that they're where they're supposed to be. Oh, you can't see the signatures till you're in the next section. So sorry. So once everything is filled out and you click Save and Close, sorry, my internet. Okay. Then let's pretend I want to send this to my buyer, Mr. Donald Duck, for his signature. I'm going to make sure that the form is checked up here in the top left corner. And then can everyone see this little pen icon? It says DocuSign. I'm going to click on DocuSign, and then it's going to take me to the envelope details. So I'm just going to name it so that when it comes back into my email, I know which deal is what. There's Magic Kingdom offer. Perfect. Here is the document that I've attached. If you forgot a document, you can click on Room Documents and it will take you backwards so that you can check any other documents that you need signatures on. And then down here where it says Add Recipients to Envelope, I'm going to choose from my pre-tagged roles that I want buyer 1, and over here is my recipient, Mr. Donald Duck, and there's his email address because I typed it in under View Details. I'm going to send this document to Donald Duck, my buyer, and then I'm going to click on Add Selected. If I had multiple people, I could put them in order as to who gets to sign first. If I needed to sign any of the documents as the buyer's agent, I could come back under pre-tagged roles and I could select, but there's no signatures that need my signature in there. And then down here at the bottom, I can put in an email subject, which my buyer is going to see, and a message, just like you would in .loop. Next, I'm going to click on the next button in the top right-hand corner. And this is the page that's going to allow you to see where all of your people are meant to sign. So we're going to scroll down to the last page here. And we're just going to make sure that Donald Duck's signature is in here. If you want to make it smaller, of course you can. If you needed to add in initials at the bottom of the pages, which we really don't do anymore, you would just come over here on the left-hand side. So instead of going to the top of the page and clicking on Add Signature, you're just going to go on the left-hand side and you're going to add signature or add initial if you need it. So there are signatures, initials, date signed. You can also drag in text fields, which will auto-populate their name, their email, their company, or title. Down here are your text fields, just like in .loop, where you can click on Add Text or Add Checkbox. It's all the same. Okay? So the only difference is instead of dragging and dropping the signature or the initial and then assigning it, you're going to come up to the left. And if you have multiple people up here, they're going to be in different colors. So you'll want to choose the person that you're dragging those fields for before you drag them onto the contract. That's the only difference, really. Excuse me. You can also choose, once you have any of these fields selected, You can choose if they're a required field over here on the right-hand side. And then there's also some different formatting. So instead of like, I just use my mouse to make things smaller. So they're just additional tooltips that you can use. And then you just hit send. And just like that loop, it's going to show you in your room or in your loop that it's waiting for others to sign. Okay, so we're back in our room. It's not going to be under documents. It's going to be under your envelope because you sent it, right? That's something that we have to keep in mind. And it says waiting for others. As soon as my buyer, Donald Duck, goes in there and signs it, it's going to say completed. And that's basically it. Not much different, right? I see a lot of smiling faces. No one's like freaking out. Good job, guys.
Sean,
All
once
right.
that's signed and it comes in as completed, will that be in the document folder, or do you need to drag it from envelope to document?
It will be in your document. Excuse me, your document folder.
Sean?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 2 questions. One from Miss Laura Barkauer. I thought the DocuSign would autofill from the MLS. Maybe that was zip forms from another brokerage. How dare her to speak of another brokerage, but she did.
That was
Sorry.
Tyra.
Okay, and then the other question from Sandy Kersey is, so do we need to add those check boxes back up in the purchase agreement where they choose a home inspection and stuff like that?
Those are all populated. Let me see if I can go back in here. I'm gonna mute you because I'm echoing again. Sorry. I don't know, Bob. You make me echo. I don't know why.
I think Bob's listening to it on a very loud speaker.
I don't know. Miss
And I
Sandy.
think it's because you're both using the Keller Williams account, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, you are too, Craig. Who knows? Who knows? So
Craig?
all of your check boxes are already in here for you. So you do not have to drag and drop nada. I had to do some things to get that to happen.
Yeah, you can thank Sean for that. They were gonna.
I was not dragging and dropping, and neither were our agents. So we figured it out. So all of your check boxes, just like that loop, are going to be the same. Let's see if there's any more questions.
Can you show us one more time how to add a field, like you were at the end of what you were going over, just like if you wanted to add a checkbox or you wanted to add a text box?
Absolutely. There's
So do it. Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Okay. There's also a question in here on how to demonstrate matching the name with the color box. Okay, gotcha. Let me go back into details really quick, and then I'll show you the different colored boxes. I don't know why my internet's so slow today. Okay, here we go. Who was Donald's girlfriend? Daisy?
Daisy Duck.
I'm losing my mind here. All right. Donald and Daisy. I'm going to save. And then let's go back into documents. And let's see here. Donald and Daisy decided they don't want to buy the house, so we're going to do a mutual release real quick.
Buyers never change their mind.
Nah, never. I don't know what's going on with my internet right now.
So Sean, let me queue up the next question while this is circling. If you need to add an external document, can you do that? I know you can. Will you show us how to do that? So you have everything you need except you have a document that you had to scan in and you need to add that to the transaction. How's that done?
Gotcha. Okay. So we're going to fill in the mutual release and we're going to say, paid to seller because it's our buyer's fault. Say we're moving out of state and didn't know it. So once you've filled in all of the information on the form, we are then, oh my goodness, going to click on the mutual release, and we're going to go up to this little pencil, the DocuSign pencil, and we're going to name it again. We'll just put, mutual release for Magic Kingdom. Go to add recipient, pre-tagged roles. We're going to check buyer 1 and buyer 2, and then choose Donald and Daisy from the list so they know what signatures they're dropping where. And then we're clicking on next. So Donald's signature fields are going to be yellow. And if you click on the drop down, Daisy's signature fields are going to be blue. Did you see that? So if you need to put in an initial where both of them have to initial for some reason, you are going to check whoever's initial you want. And then we're going to drag and drop the initial. And it knows that that initial field is for Donald. And then I'm going to come up to the top left and I'm going to choose Daisy Duck. And I'm going to drag and drop her initial as well. Make sense? So it's a little different than dot loop because in dot loop we dragged the signature field and then we clicked on assign and chose who the person was. We're just doing it opposite. And it really works wonderfully if you're having to add multiple maybe text box or check boxes because it is an external document. You can choose the first party and add as much as you need without having to assign it 14 times, and then switch over to the second party and drag those fields as well. Craig, what was your question about text boxes? Was
Well,
that
it's the same thing. You just demonstrate it with the initial box. Now, as opposed to one page at a time, I'm sure you can do this, but you have.
You can check multiple files. Yep.
Madison, sorry. But yeah, so you can have all the documents and then, so let's say you have multiple documents. How do you send signatures all at once?
Well, let's go back. I was just trying to do one at a time to save time.
Yeah. We also still have the looming question of if I have to add an external document, exactly how do we do that?
Got you. Mm-hmm. One moment. I'm trying to go backwards. So, okay, we'll do two things at the same time. Here we go. So I can add document from my computer. Let's see what's hanging out on my computer. Who knows? I'm sure it's some kind of training doc. Let's do a 66-day challenge, shall we? That has an awful lot of pages though. Hold on. Here, let's do a seller's disclosure because that's typical. We get the seller's disclosure down from the MLS and then we throw it into our room. So it's probably going to end up down here at the bottom. So I can either click this, I can click all of the boxes independently, or I think there's a select all. Yep, here's the select all button right under add. I can select all, and then I can click on the DocuSign pin. So did that answer both questions?
Seems to me it did, yeah.
Perfect. For time purposes, I want to show you the difference between an external document. So it's the exact same as it is in .loop. If it's an external document that you have to grab from your computer or from a secondary source and upload into .loop, DocuSign, you'll still have to drag and drop those forms. But let's do the seller's disclosure, the agency office policies, and the for your protection get home inspection. And then we're going to click on DocuSign.
Are those fields are the fields already in those office forms as well? Okay.
Word. Of course they are.
Thank you.
The only thing that will not have boxes are external documents, but we're used to that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to add my recipients again, buyer 1 and buyer 2. We're going to add selected and then click on next. Okay, so see, both of our signatures are already in our office forms. So I'm a little OCD, so I have to make the boxes fit. You know what I'm saying? Is anyone out there like me? No? Okay, just me. Jay. They got to be on the line and they got to fit. All I'm saying. I'm going to mute both you boys because I'm echoing.
Be sure to always leave the date to the left of where you see because it's very long when fills itself out. It does the date and time. It'll go off. Yes. Always place it to the left where you think.
So you're saying move it to the left?
No, just
Not that far, no.
right now. There you go. Just make sure it's not over to the right side.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
You'll see when it fills in.
Gotcha. So here is, oof, I'm echoing again. I'm muting people. So sorry, boys. Okay. Can you guys hear me better now? Okay. So here's an external document, which has already been signed. But again, you're going to choose who is signing where. So I'm going to drop Donald's signatures in first. Okay. And then I'm going to put date signed. And then I'm just going to scroll down and do both of Donald's at the same time. And then I'm going to switch over to Daisy. Notice how it turned blue. And I'm going to drag in Daisy's signature and her date signed on both forms as well. And after I'm done, I would then click on send. Make sense? Did we get all of the questions answered? Let me see here. I saw one more come in.
There was a question about commercial docs.
Commercial docs are not available yet. We need to discuss that with the ALC. But there will be groups available for each property type. Was that Brian's question? Yes, that's Brian's question. Yeah, Brian, I haven't done those yet, but you will have them. We'll either do them under groups, or I'll go in and I'll set them up as templates in your, like your KRECA, what is it? You know what I'm talking about, the CREA docs that only you can see. Yeah, they'll be in there. Okay.
Hey, Sean, one more question.
Easy.
When you add the signature, it does not automatically assign the date it was signed, correct?
That is correct. In DocuSign, you have to drag and drop the date. But luckily, all of the templated forms, you do not have to do that. Okay. Let's see here. I thought I saw one more question. Hold on.
So does the date signed, do they have to fill that out, or when you sign it, does it automatically?
When your client signs it, then it automatically populates when they click the button.
Okay.
Not when you put it in there. I have a question that says, so by choosing the color box, the agent actually is signing? No. Daisy and Donald are both the buyer. If you, the listing agent, needed to sign the, what is it? The lead-based paint, back on the other screen prior to this, you would have added yourself as a signer, and you would have put your name next to where it said listing agent. Does that make sense? I don't think it's going to allow me to do that because this is not a listing room, but let's see if we can. So down here,
Sean, it should allow you to do that because you still have the agency policy, the FHA, get an inspection.
Oh, I thought I still
things
had
like that.
the purchase agreement up. Hold on just a second. Let's go back under pre-tagged roles. Here we go. And I could put either the listing agent signature or the buyer agent signature. I am the buyer agent. And then in one of the trainings I was in, they told me that the agent should always receive the forms first, just so you can take a look and make sure that everything looks good and you're signing the documents before your client is, and likelihood that you're not going to forget to do it is better. So if you wanted to change the order of any of these people, you just drag and drop them. And they do
Sean,
the email that order.
Do you have to do it in an order, or can we send everybody out simultaneously? Because in some situations where you have two buyers and they're at the office, at different offices, the wife might not be able to sign before the husband, and you won't know that as you're doing it. You follow what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
In the past, you could do it simultaneously through DocuSign. I don't know if you still can.
Interesting.
I'm sure you can.
Hey, Jay, have you heard of anything? I heard that it goes in order.
I think it's from your envelope screen. You can designate that it goes to a certain person first, and then they have to sign before somebody else can.
Yeah, that's where we are right now on this screen right here, where you can drag and drop.
Well, this is adding to your envelope, but when you're actually in the envelope and you have the signature page, before you send it, you may have an option there.
That's right here. I had to go back a screen. Bob's question was, can you send it where everyone receives everything at the same time?
You see how you have a number 1 in there?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's getting it at the same time. If you do it 1, 2, 3, put it in order.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what Sandy just mentioned that in the thread. You're so smart, Sandy.
You are, Sandy. Way to go. All right, cool. So you just change that all to save 1 and it doesn't matter? Perfecto. Let me see if we have any other questions And if everybody's good, then I think we are done. Let's see here. Will the clients get something so they can choose their signature? And do we need to expand the signature box so that the signature will fit on the line? I don't think it's like .loop where you can I don't believe it matters. If their signature is bigger than the box, it's going to expand it. You can create a sample room and send yourself to see the process that your client is going to go through. They will be prompted to put in their password, to create a password, and they will be prompted to create a signature, just like in .loop. That is like FCC federal regulations.
It resize itself as well. You can pull the bounding box left or right as well.
All right. I don't see any other questions. Did we miss any questions? You can go ahead and unmute yourself if you have any questions for me. Everybody's good? See, that wasn't so bad.
Good job.
Everybody's smiling.
Are we? Okay, I'm
You
not.
are.
But I'll try. Do we submit the right word like we did in .loop?
You are going to submit documents from command. Do you guys want to hang out for 5 minutes and see that?
I would.
It's real quick. So I didn't necessarily have any signatures on my forms, but I can still show you how it's done. So here we are back in command. Let me take you to the home screen. Whoops. And even if you're still using .loop or going to use .loop in the future, submitting things to the Market Center, you're going to use the same process that I'm about to show you. We're no longer submitting documents through .loop as of June 1st. So if you turn in a closing and you try to submit your closing paperwork to Roger via .loop, you're going to get an email and you're going to have to go back and do this process, okay? And we're not trying to be meanies, but this is the new compliance regulations with us. And it's not difficult, I promise. So we're going to go back into opportunities. And here are my active opportunities. And let's pretend that I sent the purchase agreement to Craig Eberly and he got his sellers to sign it and we are good to go, right? I could then drag this negotiation opportunity right here to under contract. And do you see how it turns green? That's how I know that I can let it go and it will move to under contract. So now it's no longer under negotiations. I can click on under contract and there it is. If we were turning in closing paperwork, I would do the same thing. I would take it and I would just drag it and drop it to closed. Does that make sense? So in .loop, we would change it from pending to closed or sold, excuse me. Same difference. We're just dragging and dropping it in command. So I'm going to click on my opportunity and then I'm going to click on documents. I'm going to choose over here, pretend that this is the folder. So if you're going old school and you open up your file cabinet drawer, these over here on the left-hand side are the folders, the hanging file folders that are in your drawer, okay? And then inside the folders are our documents. So when I click on under contract, it's going to take me over here where I can add all of my forms into command. Okay. So the easiest way that I have found to do this, Jay or Thomas might have a quicker way, is to literally just next to purchase agreement, I'm going to click add a file. Oh, wait, there is another way. I'll show you that here in a second. I'm going to click on DocuSign. And then I'm going to choose my purchase agreement. And since I started my loop, or I started my room in command, command and the DocuSign room are married. Does that make sense? If you start an opportunity in command and you start a room separately in DocuSign, they are not going to be married. So it's so important to start in command, how we just went through that and said start transaction, clicked on DocuSign. That way you'll be able to pull in the documents. Does that make sense, everyone? Is everybody good with that? Okay.
I don't understand that.
Who's that, Miss Judy?
Yes.
Judy?
Me neither.
Okay, so let's do a timeout. If you girls could mute yourself so we don't echo, sorry. We are so used to going into .loop separately to start a contract, right? Right? So we can't do that anymore. What you need to do is you need to start your contract in command, like I showed you in the beginning of the training video. Okay, that's why I'm having this class a couple of times, because it might be difficult to kind of wrap your brain around it. If you start in command and you start your transaction in command, it will automatically know which DocuSign room belongs to which opportunity. Does that make sense? So in essence, they're married together, and you're not going to have a contract for Main Street end up in your Magic Kingdom command folder. But you have to start it in command. Okay?
Right.
So
I think
I don't want you lovely ladies to ever go into DocuSign and log into DocuSign by itself. You don't need to do that. Don't ever do that. Always log in from command and start it from there. Does that make sense?
But
Thumbs
then
up?
as for sending the paperwork
Yes.
to the office.
We're getting ready to do that right now.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So the question was, Craig, is how does command know that you're getting the forms from the right spot? Because what I did right here is I'm adding a file from DocuSign into command. So I clicked on DocuSign, and it already knows, it's what's called a root folder. It already knows to go to DocuSign and grab the paperwork in the 1, 2, 3, 4 Magic Kingdom room. Make sense? So I can click on purchase agreement and click assign. And when I click on assign, do you see how it added that document right next to purchase agreement? So you can do that for each form individually, or you can also attach multiple files up here in the left. And then you can go to DocuSign, and you see how they're all listed here. We had the seller's disclosure. I can scroll down. It's probably at the very bottom where we put it. Where'd it go? Oh, see, there it is. Seller's disclosure for Chapel. I know, that was just what was on my computer. And you see how it's attached now. So when we attach it, it's bringing in those documents from DocuSign. And this is where you're going to submit to the Market Center. So do you see right here where it says submit to MC? Submit to Market Center. And then that is going to notify Roger and your leadership team that you have an offer. And we will be able to project what your closings are going to be and how much money you're going to be making and what's in your pipeline. We'll be able to see everyone as a whole. So instead of submitting documents in .loop, we're going to come back to command. We're going to drag those documents into command, and then we're going to submit to the Market Center from this page right here. Right from your documents page where you started.
Hey, Sean, when they do that, then it goes into compliance review at the same time, correct?
It does. It goes to Roger, and it also goes to Bob, so Bob can have your back and make sure that you crossed all of your T's and dotted all of your I's and nobody goes to jail. Sound good? Thank God for Broker Bob. Do we have any other questions?
Same thing goes on a listing as well.
Yep.
And
When it
sometimes
lists,
submitting.
when it goes pending, and when it's closed. Right, Jay? So when you go into the office and you drop your money in the box next to Roger's office, and then you scan your closing docs into your email, you can download those docs from your email just like you do now, and then you're going to come into command and you're going to choose closed, because this is your folder over here on the left. You're going to choose closed, and then you can drag and drop that scan. So let's go to my inbox right now. It's kind of a scary spot. Nobody judge me. Come on.
What I love about all this is it's all in one place.
It's all in one place, exactly.
Forever.
So,
And you're like your customer 5 years later, when you go to their contact, all their documents are there under their contact. All the past transactions are there. Everything's in one place. That's awesome.
so here is the email that I sent everyone today. Look familiar? I hope everyone's reading their emails. There's good stuff here. So let's pretend that Craig sent me back the bottom line contract. Is everybody good with that? Or let's say I emailed the closing docs to myself. So let's pretend that these are the closing docs or a bottom line purchase agreement. I choose download, and it's going to download that document into my download bar, and I can put it on my desktop wherever I want it to go. Can everyone still see my screen? Cool. Everyone should be using Google Chrome. Google Chrome has the best success rate when it comes to operating command. Firefox, Microsoft Edge, it's a hot mess, and you'll get errors and you'll get a lot of delay in screen time and all that fun stuff. So my paperwork is down here in my download bar. So now I can go back into command, and let's pretend it's my Alta. I'm gonna make sure the closed folder is checked. Here's my Alta, and I'm gonna add a file, and then I can drag it and drop it.
Needs to be selected as manual though. Just double check that it's manual.
And hit assign. Boom. You fill out you pull up your seller's disclosure, copy of your commission check, the sold form, and you submit it to the Market Center, and then Roger can get you paid as soon as possible. Okay? So just putting the check in the money box doesn't mean that you're going to get paid. you still have to submit it to the Market Center just like you would in .loop. Everybody good?
So I have a question, please.
Yes, ma'am.
A listing that was started today and I know will be sold after June 1. Should I wait to put that listing in DocuSign? Should I
have the paperwork done already?
It's not signed, but it will be before June 1.
So,
Unless you tell me something different.
well, for simplicity, if you don't want to have to redo the contract, you can just download it out of .loop. Or if you hook your .loop up to Command, when you click on Add a File, you should be able to, where's the .loop button, Jay?
I did do it in .loop through Command.
Through Command. Oh, then you're good. You're just going to use the same process, except right here, you'll have a button that says .loop. I don't have a button that says .loop here because I started my transaction in DocuSign. Make sense?
Okay, so I don't have to worry about changing documents. I just, like in the middle, you know, it could, I don't know how, no, it'll be the buyer that starts the DocuSign. If I sell it, for example, or somebody in KW sells it.
Yep, we're going to have 30 days after June 1st that we'll still be able to use stuff in .loop.
Okay.
So you should be fine, and you're always going to be able to access .loop. So just like I said in that email last week, any kind of digital signature platform is required by state and federal law to give us access for at least 5 years to any contracts that are signed. So we're always going to have access to our paperwork.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Judy, you could also just take that document, download it to your
Download it,
computer,
yeah.
and then just upload it to your Command.
To Command?
And to Command, yep.
Well, it's already in Command because I went through Command to create it, to create
Good.
the listing document.
Craig is talking about when you're submitting it for compliance.
Oh, okay.
You know, even if, you know, the button for .loop doesn't work, you can always download it to your computer and then drag it and drop it into Command.
Got it.
Yep, you'll always be able to do that. All right, guys, you guys did a good job.
Thanks, Sean.
If you have any
Hey,
questions, let me know.
One last thing, Sean.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Make sure everybody understands that as they look at these things, some of those documents are required, just like they've always been, and some are optional. And where they find that is just right underneath the name of the document. I don't know if people realize that or not.
So right here, what Bob is saying, oh, let me mute you, sorry. Let me blow up my screen a little bit so we can see. So where it says Alta HUD settlement statement, underneath it, it says required. So that's where you can see what documents are required and what are not. Does that answer your question, Mr. Bob? Perfecto. Awesome. All right, guys, stay safe out there. I'm going to give everyone an air hug because my introvert or my extrovert and my high I has been real struggling lately, not being able to squeeze you. So air hugs.
And there were some people with a connection issue. You said you were going to stay after a little bit that were having an issue with connecting their DocuSign. Is that right?
What I said was if you're having a problem connecting your DocuSign, then I need you to send me an email with your Command username and password, and I will do that for you.
Cool.
It's just easier than having to step through it on the phone.
Okay.
Sound good? Same thing with .loop. If you haven't connected your .loop yet and you need to drag some stuff over, send me your username and password and I'll connect you. And the steps are also in the handout. Okay? All right, guys. Thanks for coming to class. If you need a refresher, I'm doing this again on, what day am I doing this on? Thursday, I think. All right. See ya.
See ya.
Where'd my end meeting button go? Good grief. I got too many things open. There it is.